Hi everyone, this is part two of advice for empaths working with narcissists. There is a part one down below, and this is part two. In this part looks at situations where you absolutely have to take a stand with a narcissist. Things have gone on too long. You've tried all the other tactics, which we do talk about in the previous video, and there's quite a bit of stuff that you may have already tried in order to safeguard yourself from the worst rage and negative energy of the narcissistic person. And this part two is about taking stands with narcissists. Now I feel particularly amazed to be able to say this, because for the longest time I struggled with this particular issue, because it's so traumatizing to be in relationship with narcissists, leading to a freeze response. A lot of people in long-term relationships with narcissists will just be basically paralyzed. They won't be able to say anything. They may even be physically frozen. They may barely move. They may get really isolated from the rest of people, because one of the things narcissists do, their first line is to separate the person's family and other close contacts. That's the way the narcissist gets in and to control a person, is to make sure that person has nobody else to turn to. They'll pick apart all the their praise friends. For example, whoever the person, their partner or their colleague, they'll just get after their family, their culture, whatever it is that they can pick on. And eventually, this person is going to be in the complete control of the narcissist. So that's their first tactic anyway. But over time, if you have seen through the game of the narcissist and you are done with putting up with this for any reason, basically, health is one big reason, because being in that constant anxiety of control and the rage attacks and the lies and all of that can be very, very triggering. And over time, it can mean health issues. So say you've decided to take a stand because you just can't stand it anymore. You can't stand how you feel around this person. You don't feel like yourself. You can't remember the last time you felt like spontaneous and that you could do what you felt like doing without the permission of the narcissist. To even think of doing something you want to do without first checking with the narcissist may seem like, oh my gosh, rebellion. Will I be safe? Will I be okay? Are they okay if they do this? So those are some of the thoughts that will come through your head. But say you've decided, what are some things that would help you, you know, cope through this battle and maybe come out of it in one piece? Keep it short. Keep it short, direct, and simple. Never, 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 and dare I say another never? Yeah, I think I'm going to say another never. And the other never is never argue with a narcissist. Some people may wonder if the narcissist is stupid, because some of the arguments that the narcissist is going to come back with are so incredibly unresearched, unfactual, that they literally will silence you. Their arguments will be more like very, very rigid opinions without much data backing any of it. If you're a reflective person, you're going to try and disprove them by throwing data at their face, by countering what they're saying with an alternative perspective. Those are all very normal tactics that people try to use. Never, never think that that could possibly succeed with the narcissist. The narcissist is not driven by logic or rationale. The narcissist is driven by one thing and one thing only. And that thing is to take what other people have. Period. Let it sink in for a moment. They may feel that it is an outrage that other people who are inferior to them may have the same, or if not the same, more than them. Now, that thing that they're after could be as nebulous as confidence, as concrete as assets, or as um, uncontrollable as love. But they must have it at all costs. If it is looks that they're after, oh, watch out for anybody who accidentally looks good near them. Depending on the level of cruelty and level of need for that person, the narcissist can literally strip apart someone who dares to be better than them. Narcissists will fight with everyone. They will not have any friends, very, very few friends. And they will find one person usually who is kind, who has a big number of friends, like a big network of friends, who is liked and loved by people. And they will go all out to control that person through any manipulation tactic, from guilt to sob stories to being there for that person whenever that person needs, because by controlling that person they can control 10 or 15 other people. The narcissist will bring down that person first. They will, after that love bombing, oh my gosh, you're so amazing, you're so amazing, they'll, once they've got a little bit of their talents into that person, they will devalue that person so that person feels less than the narcissist. When that person feels less than the narcissist, then the narcissist has easily, controlling that person. So the narcissist will know very well what the weakness of this person is. And when they know what the weakness is, then they're going to make sure that they do not affirm or validate that person in that area. So, say the person is insecure about their appearance or their physical health, or they're unsure about whether the narcissist loves them, and that's a great need for their prey, then they are going to play on these issues, a little bit of poke here, a little bit of poke here, a little bit that, until that person is in a continuously agitated state, like their body is tight, they're very, very uh, defensive, very vigilant, very on guard, watching everything that the narcissist is saying. That their prey, that person that they're actually got their talents in, will barely breathe. If you're sitting and watching this play, take a deep breath. If you've been in that situation, take a deep breath and take three for yourself and for everyone in that situation, because in the long run, being exposed to this level of stress is not good for you. It's not good for your nervous system, not good for your body. So now that you know that arguing is not an option with a narcissist, then and that the narcissist's primary motive is to control and manipulate you for their own needs and ends in life, and that love is not an emotion that the narcissist can actually feel. The narcissist feels need. That's it. The strongest, most intense emotion they have ever felt and will ever probably feel until they really work through their trauma is need. They'll break down if they need you. So, how do you work with them when you need to take a stand? You need to learn that you've got to put boundaries and stay consistent continually with those boundaries. And the best boundaries that work for narcissists is to limit your engagement with them. If attention is the currency of, a narcissistic relationship, then so be it. You've got to spend that currency very, very carefully. Many of us, idealistic people, fall into the trap of how it should be. What Why is it so horrible? Why can't it change? Why can't the narcissist change? If only they'd go to therapy, if they'd only listen to me, if they could only see the consequences of their actions, maybe they would change. Maybe there is a miracle therapist who can fix their brain. That is the single biggest trap. There is no need to get into that trap because the narcissist will realize really early on that you thrive by making them better and that you are so invested in them that you want to improve them. Your desire to make them better is not going to help them become better. In fact, they'll become worse. Why? Because that's your hook. That's the way to keep you in the relationship. If they get better, they risk losing you. So that's the reason they're going to sabotage any attempt that you make to improve them. Isn't that interesting? The way they think is very different from a normal person. And the more you understand exactly how different it is, the less likely you are to burn out in a narcissistic relationship. So, never argue, have very clear and specific boundaries. Do not respond to rage attacks with rage. Rely on some facts. For example, if they start berating you, you can say, "You agreed to never call me this and to do this instead. Since you are doing this again, I am not comfortable speaking further to you at this time. I need to go now and to just simply disconnect from them." So you have given them the reason why you want disconnection. You've given them no reason not to change. You've made it clear that in order to have time with you, they need to stop doing whatever it is that they agreed. They need to see the consequence of their actions spelled out to them in very clear terms. You promised this, it wasn't done, and just stop there. Once they've said whatever it is that they have to say, maybe keep the phone away from your ear. Maybe just, give some space. Just don't, you know, um, try to argue back or correct them. Then they're not going to be corrected. They are dysregulated on a regular basis. What that simply means is they're not able to calm themselves down, especially not in the middle of a anxiety provoking situation like a potential argument. And so they're going to be coming on very strong, very hard, and very rageful. If you start to argue at that time and explaining yourself, it's not going to go down very well. You're going to be stonewalled after that. So, what do? You, if it's on a phone, put the phone away. If it's physical, then step away from them. Do not be in a direct flow of their heart energy. Otherwise, you're going to pick up the heart energy, you're going to start feeling the heart energy, and it's going to affect you, and you're going to get entrained. Your energy is going to get entrained with their psyche. You're going to basically enmesh with them. So, you've got to avoid enmeshing with narcissists. A lot of people, in order to reassure the narcissist and to calm the narcissist, because the narcissist finds it so hard to calm themselves, may enmesh in order to do that. So what I'm saying is counterintuitive. Instead of getting close to them, what I'm saying to you is to energetically step away, back, step one back, two back, three back, and go to the side. But don't break your eye contact or look on their, keep looking at their face. Be there, nod if you can, just once, just enough to say, yes, I'm still hearing you, still listening to you. But make sure you're not in the full energy of their rage. The narcissist will eventually calm down. When they calm down, they're going to feel very, very sorry for themselves, not you. Very, very sorry for their bad kismat, their terrible destiny, not you. You are unlikely to get an apology, so don't expect it. The narcissist may feel a little bit ashamed about doing what they just did because emotional dysregulation feels uncomfortable to everyone. So the narcissist is going to be uncomfortable with that itself. They're quite vulnerable at that moment. That's when you need to just sit and watch them silently. Don't say anything. Just sit and look at them without any judgment, nothing. Just sitting there, giving them as much physical space as you can. Don't get closer than 5 feet. Just stay and sit. Let them fill the silence. This is the only opportunity that they and you will have for them to self reflect. Don't blow it by lecturing them. Don't blow it by being embarrassed by them and overcompensating for their behavior. They may blame you, they may blame other people, they may blame everyone except themselves for why they got so out of hand. Now it's your choice. If you really feel strongly about it, then you can say what you need to say. You can tell them that I get very exhausted when you're angry like that. You know that. It's tough on my body. That's a lot of information. That's enough. You don't need to say anymore. And do it only after the narcissist has calmed and their voice is not shaken or not their body trembled for at least a few minutes. We're talking about a psychology where emotional regulation is not as natural or as normal as most other people, because the element of remorse or empathy is missing or very low. So they're not able to feel that, oh gosh, what I do, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm acting like an idiot. They are not able to get there. It's like a missing piece in the head. So for a narcissist, when they're calming themselves down, it's like, oh, I'm not feeling as agitated as before. That's it. They have not connected the dots as to what that agitation did to the other person, what could be the possible consequences of it, and how the other person might be feeling right now. Very triggered and shaken up. They're not going to clue into that. In their world, they're the only ones who feel vulnerable and the only ones who rage and the only ones who have a problem. So, you telling them that you had a headache and your body is hurting, that's like, what? You mean to say you're not me, but you are me? That's why I'm in a relationship with you, because I cannot be alone and I need to be with you. So, how can it be that you feel something negative when you're with me? It must not be that way because I don't do anything wrong to you. You do wrong thing to me. So where the narcissist is concerned is whatever wrong they do to you in their worldview, in their projection, you are actually doing it to them. If they abuse you and threaten you and say, get out of my house, and you actually pack your bags and you leave, and then they say, come back, and you don't come back, they're going to blame you for it. I told you to come. I told you, I'm here. You didn't come. I'm sorry I said that. I'm here. Why didn't you come? So, they're not going to even ask that actually. They're not even going to ask why you didn't. It's like you didn't come. So, it's actually your fault that I'm feeling this way because you didn't come. So, there is a lot in narcissism to understand when it comes to picking a fight or taking a creating a battle with them of any kind. Keep it short and simple. Absolutely and completely accept that the narcissist is never ever going to change. Understand that the narcissist cannot regulate themselves, and if you tell them that you can't regulate yourself, you should go learn. They'll either say, I already know, or I cannot do it. And they're right, they cannot do it. That's the reason why they need you. That's why you're there. Because they pick their partners and they prey with great care. They know that a normal person cannot put up with them. So they pick people who are highly apologetic, have a martyr complex, like really need to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. They pick people who are submissive, who were bullied perhaps in childhood, so they don't stand up to them, they don't get aggressive when threatened. So they'll pick people who are slow to anger, or even if that person is angry, they feel very very bad about the anger and then they overcompensate. So people who feel very guilty, people who are already ashamed about themselves, people who've been bullied a lot, people who really 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 feel bad if they hurt somebody, those are all natural targets for narcissists. Anyway, I hope that this video helps you understand some more advanced techniques for working with narcissists. Thank you. Bye.